Ahoy, mateys! You don't have to copy down any notes until the end of the video when I prompt you to do so, but you do need to ask yourself this. What's wrong with these sentences? You're right. They're all vicious lies perpetrated by shadowy organizations to keep the masses in line. And as it turns out, they also all use the same form of the verb to be. Now, while this is all right in some dialects of English, such as pirate, it's not how the most common form of English, Standard English, works. In Standard English, you change the verb to match whoever or whatever is doing the verb. This is called verb conjugation. We do it all the time in English. So I would say, for example, mayonnaise is delicious, bottled water is sensible, hot dogs are supposed to have ketchup, and I am enjoying this video. That's just all right. I still got to fix these sentences here. That's better. Much better. Now, back to conjugation. So, as you can see, we conjugate all the time in English. Well, Spanish does too. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. Now, I know what's going on in your head. You're thinking, I'd like to sound like a pirate, savvy. But tragically, not conjugating your verbs in Spanish will not make you sound like a pirate. If it did, let's be honest, why even bother to conjugate, right? I'd love to sound like a pirate. But in Spanish, without verb conjugation, you will sound at best like a caveman or perhaps a lovably dense dog. And that won't get you very far when you're trying to catch a bus to Guadalajara. All right, so now that you're convinced that verb conjugation is important, how do you do it? I'm going to let you figure it out yourself with the help of an excerpt from this popular Latina fashion magazine. Let's take a look. All right, pause the video and take a minute to read, and you won't understand everything, but see if you can pick up on any words you recognize or cognates. I'll bet you'll find a few. All right, now that you've paused it, let's talk about what you're seeing. First, let's talk about any verbs you might have noticed. Now, they might not be in the form you're familiar with, the infinitive form, where they end with AR, ER, or IR, but I'll bet you saw some verbs, maybe like the verb ver, or necesitar, estudiar, cantar, pasar, estudiar again, usar, enseñar, hablar, bailar, tocar, trabajar, practicar. Now, there's other verbs in there too, but I'm not highlighting all of them because we're just going to look at these ones as an example. Now, let's look for other things that you recognize. How about pronouns? I see a few that you might recognize, like maybe yo. How about tú? Maybe some no. Let's go with él. How about nosotras? And I see up at the top some ellos. Very nice. All right. Now, there's other words you'd recognize, of course, but for our purposes, talking about verb conjugation, we'll just talk about these. And just so you're not freaking out, I'm not highlighting every pronoun or every verb, but just enough for us to talk about. Okay, so let's look for patterns. Do you see you notice, first of all, that the verbs don't have that AR or ER or IR ending on them in these cases. They've been chopped off. See if you can connect any patterns to what it goes in the place of that AR, ER, or IR, depending on which pronoun the verb is paired with. You know, I'm seeing here, look at the yo form. I'm seeing that the yo, every time a verb is with yo, it seems to have this O ending. All right, look down at the two pronouns down there. See that verb practicas? That's clearly paired with the pronoun to. It looks like we got an AS ending for it. How about all of the L's? Now, we're not going to look at all of them, but if you see any time an L is paired with the verb, it generally will end with an A. And if you look at the nosotras verbs that go with them, they seem to end with this amos. And last of all, ellos seems to end with we've got an EN or an AN ending, but that N is at the end all the time. I'll tell you right now, we're going to focus more on that second one, necesitan, with the AN ending, because that's the AR verb conjugation form. We'll worry about ER and IR verbs later. All right, so we've got some patterns. Let's see if we can put it all together on with the chart that we've already know about pronouns. All right, let's see. What was that ending of the verb that went with the yo pronouns? It was an, that's it, an O. How about the to ending? That seems to be an AS ending. How about for L, we had the A ending. Notice how on our pronoun chart we can deduce that the A ending will also work for ella or for usted. Okay, the nosotros verbs had that amos ending. And for the ellos ending, we had the an, A-N. And we can deduce that it would also work for ellas or ustedes. Now, I didn't have any examples of this in that magazine article, but vosotros, if you were ever to go to Spain and use it, would have the is ending. A with an accent, I-S. Don't use that, though, around here. I'm not going to practice that. But just so you know, in case you ever go to Spain. Okay. Alrighty, let's recap. If your sentences look like this, then you're forgetting to conjugate, and you'll sound like a dweeb. But don't worry. Verb conjugation is so strong that I sawed this verb in half. And then I added on the ending to match who or what was doing the verb. In this case, yo is doing the verb, so I add the yo ending, which is O. Yo hablo. And that's all there is to it. Okay, get out those notes and add this chart to your notes before this scurvy pirate scuppers you in the brig. Yarr! And I'm going to have you for each one. I'll have you write down the pronoun ending, and a sample sentence. So let's start with yo here. Get those down. And feel free to pause the video and give yourself time to write. Next is to. If the to form, use the AS verb ending. And here's a sample sentence for you. Tú hablas en la clase. All right, for él or ella or usted, use that A ending. And here's a sample for you. Ella habla con el maestro. For the nosotros or nosotras form, use that amos ending. And for a sample sentence, why don't you write this? Nosotros hablamos por teléfono. All right, go to the bottom right of the chart, and let's do ellos, ellas, and ustedes. For all of those forms, you'll use the AN ending. And here's a sample sentence for you. Ustedes hablan en la mañana. And finally, just in parentheses, you can put down vosotros, use the is ending, A with an accent, IS. And here's a sample for you. Vosotros habláis. Yes, once you have that down, make sure you bring it to class with you tomorrow so we can practice. And that'll be all.